So what is your outreach strategy then? Do you have a purpose-built funnel that you use to bring organic leads into your agency, or is it all just outreach on your part?
Okay, so for me it's all outreach. Like I've seen that it's more like I've had some success with having an organic like I have a Facebook page, and I've had some success with it, but I've noticed that I have way more success when I'm doing outreach myself. So that comes with email marketing, DMing people, cold calls, man. Like I hate them, but I love them. Like they work, but man, sometimes those people are rude. Like,
Yeah.
but that those are the main things that have really worked for me. And just joining groups where everybody's a business. They're looking for clients that because they sell, their retail, whatever it is. But those businesses are my clients.
Mhm.
And so although outreach works like direct, like, hey, this is what I do, I can help you out. I've seen that it's giving is getting.
Yeah.
And I've seen myself when I'm doing outreach, my point is I'm gonna give you something that's useful. Like I'm not gonna charge you for it.
Hmm.
Here, use it free of charge. Like I know what I'm doing. And that I've seen that one's been the most successful where like I give them a few tips and some people might say like, what are you doing? You can be making money. Like if you charge them, I'm like, no, just wait. And they ended up coming to me and they're like, hey, it's kind of working. I can't really get it right. Can you help me
Yeah.
out more? Maybe we can make a partnership. And that's how it's worked really well.
100%, man. I will 100% back you on that and reiterate that. And we actually discussed this for anyone that's listening and you listened to last week's podcast. Me and Eric discussed this, and I'd said the exact same thing as you. In my outreach strategy, I go for value. So even when I go to meetings, I will literally have a presentation that tells them step by step what I'm going to do. Like I have every screenshot of how I'm going to build the ad campaign. And then you get clients and they go, but like, you've just showed me it all. Like, are you not afraid I'm going to go do this? And I go, be my guest. I'm like, if you want to, I'm like, take what I've told you today, go give it a go. And if it doesn't work out, come back to me. And usually they go, do you know what? It's all right. Like, it's just fine. And in my head, I just put that down to being, if you give someone, I basically overvalue it. I kind of put it as, look, it's going to be this, it's this, and we can do all these amazing things for you. But at the same time, they look at it and go, yeah, that's all amazing, but fuck, that looks hard. Because it is, in some respect, it is
Yeah,
it is
yeah, it
quite hard
is.
what we do. It's not, you can't just pick it up in a day. And I think people really appreciate that more when they see that you go to all the effort to say, here, this is black and white, everything that I'm going to do for you. And this is how it's going to benefit you. And if you wanted to try it yourself, you could. And then when they think about it, they go, do you know what, fuck it, just how much is it? And we'll just do it this way. Because obviously, if you can explain it to me as well as you just did to make me think that I might be able to do it, well, then sure as shit, you're obviously good at it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I've had fantastic results just using that approach of going, here it is, very simply what I'm going to do for you. And this is what you're going to get out of it. Whereas Eric actually completely went against that. He completely contradicted the point, and he just said he didn't do any. So his approach is just like no value at all. Just basically, this is the service and case studies and that. I think he elaborated on a bit more, but just he doesn't go with like the jab, 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 right hook, the Gary V.
Mhm.
Just straight in there.
Yeah, I've okay, so for me personally, like when in the beginning of stages of thinking about it, that was one of my main concerns was if this is one of the things that it is said that it works best. Like, does it really work best, or is this just things that people are saying to I don't know to guide you in the wrong direction? I didn't know as far as that, but I kept thinking back to things that I used to do in the military where I saw that trend of giving is getting. Like if you go ahead and show this, like, hey, this is how you can do this, and they're like, well, aren't you supposed to do that for me? Like, why are you showing me? I can do it now. I'm like, well, I mean, you can, and I'm not saying you're gonna fail. I'm just saying like I am the expert in this area. Like this is my job, and I saw that trend, and I said, okay, I'm gonna put it on, and I seen it where I gave them the steps. They tried, but they're like, hey, I'm running a business. I don't have time for this. And I
Yeah.
just basically told them, okay, hire an employee. I'm not your employee. We're collaborating. But if you just think about it, the charges I'm giving that I'm charging are basically for a part-time job or like close to minimum wage for a month.
Yeah.
That if you think about it that way, then they're like, okay, that makes complete sense. That's going to be your focus. And I told them, like, I'm not working 40 hours for you, but you're getting quality work that's worth way more than that. And when I explain it to them like that, they're like, why didn't I think about it that way? And I'm like, that's what I'm saying.
That's always the argument, I think, when, especially with people that are a bit more tight with their money, or even, you know, business might just maybe isn't in a great situation at that point and they're thinking about it more, and they kind of think of it and go, well, if it's that amount just for you, how many hours you spend on it, and then you have to try and make that argument with, well, it's not really based on how many hours we do, it's based on the value that's provided to your business.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to have the argument of, okay, they want to triple their ad spend, and you kind of have to explain to them now, you know, and even when you mention it in the first meeting, even when you mention it before you even get started, when you have to kind of come back to that and go, okay, well, you know, if you want to triple your ad spend, that's a lot more work here. So there's like a scale we have to go up here. I mean, if you want to triple your ad spend, I'm not going to triple your service charge. That's ludicrous. But there has to be a bit of give and take on it here as well. Especially if you want to triple your ad spend, you're going to make a shit ton more money from it. But I'm going to have to do a shit ton more work as well to make sure them ads are functioning, they're tracking, the analytics are adding up correctly, we're swapping the copy, swapping the creative, and there's a lot of work to do. And I think sometimes business owners don't get it. Sometimes business owners get it completely, hands down.
Yeah, and I've seen that. I used to think that when you're explaining those things to business owners, I thought perhaps I'm not doing a good job at explaining it, but it really comes down to their willingness to make that jump in understanding. Like,
Yeah.
hey, expertise is a thing, because sometimes they get stuck on, it's not about expertise, it's how much working for me. And no matter, they know themselves because they make much more money, and they're the business owner, and they make way more than their employees. And then you have to say, like, well, why do you get paid more? And they'll tell you, because I'm the expert. I'm like, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. And so they get stuck on that, and some people are not willing to. And if that's the case, then that's a client that you just don't want to work with. It's okay.
Yeah.
Go to the next one. You got to find the right one. But I found that it's not like, yes, we should explain it correctly the best we can, but it's gonna depend on them whether they want to accept that fact or not. But eventually, they're gonna accept it.